Welcome to Leave It on the Court. My name is Corey Randall.
My name is Mustafa.
So today's segment is about who is the Rookie of the Year. There are it's only a conversation of two for the most part. But everybody has their pick. So, in your opinion, Mustafa, who is the Rookie of the Year this season?
Thus far, my rookie of the year. I mean, this is not like a foreign opinion. It's John Morant. Um, for me, it's so clear cut with him because it's like when the Memphis got him, I'm pretty sure they knew they got a star, and I think he's one of those few players that come in, can be can hold the burden of a franchise player, even as a point guard, which is not it's not an easy task because you're not as physically built or as tall as maybe like let's say a Michael Jordan or a Kawhi Leonard. This is one of the reasons. That's one of the hurdles he faced when he first came in. People said like, wow, people like Walt Clyde Frazier said, he's not 7 feet. There's no way he could run a team or be the number one guy. But he proved them wrong. But obviously in this situation, this guy's 6'3". I'm not saying he's gonna be a Michael Jordan or the best to ever do it, but I think he's carrying the fort. He has a really good feel for the game. He's way ahead of his time. So people like Kendrick Nunn, they say, "Oh yeah, I should have won it" or whatever the case is. But he's not. He's not so. He's a contributor to his team, but he didn't have the same impact that a John Morant had. And for me, I could see him being a star, but not a superstar. He could prove me wrong, but to me, John Morant is someone that I can see being a superstar already at his young age. Obviously, a guy like Zion, he would have been a lot closer in the vote had he not get hurt. But at the same token, he's playing on a losing team, so that too can hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm wondering what do you feel about it,
man? Under the circumstances, I definitely agree. John Morant should win Rookie of the Year. I was watching him in college. I was like, damn, this kid is good. And a lot of people, I feel like, underestimated John Morant's game because when you see a guy who's very athletic, you almost forget because of how freakish athletically he is that you forget the other things that he can do as well, the other skill set that he has. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people don't realize he can shoot.
Yeah, he can shoot that rock. He can knock it down.
A lot of times he's flying to the rack. He's like a cat. He's very fast. He's like a black cat. He's very fast, knows how to, use his agility and move around. And he'll dunk on you, but dude can shoot the ball. And I mean, it's crazy that you don't see point guards usually shooting at the efficiency he shot. He was like 49% overall from three. I think he's around like 40%. I don't remember exactly. But he's a very efficient point guard. He's obviously very instrumental in the Grizzlies' success because they were kind of packing the bags up for a few years. It was looking like, and they in the Western Conference now. They're 8th seed. My only thing with picking certain awards in the NBA, which I criticize, is there needs to be more consistency in every award. There needs to be a real clear-cut reason why guys are selected for certain awards. It doesn't matter. But since we're talking about Rookie of the Year, I look back in the 2009 draft that had Brandon Jennings, Stephen Curry, and them, and Tyreek Evans won Rookie of the Year. The Kings were nowhere near the playoffs. Stephen Curry was runner-up, nowhere near the playoffs. The Bucks, the previous season, didn't even make the playoffs, and that season it was really led by Brandon Jennings for the Bucks to be a 6th seed, and he was 3rd in the voting. So it's kind of like, are you choosing Rookie of the Year based off of, how great did this guy play, or is he leading his team to the victories? What I don't understand, because if the season were to continue for the remaining 17, 18 games, and Zion kept having those streaks of the 20 plus games and all that stuff, and then finish the season out, then for me it'd be like kind of tough. Like, damn, he's breaking records here. But I don't know if I would have. Let's say if Pelicans ended up getting in the playoffs and Grizzlies didn't. I don't know. Would that change things? Like, I don't. It's kind of confusing how the award is chosen. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, but I get it. You know, a team that's winning, a lot of times you got to look at it and you got to see who's instrumental in that part and
Right.
how that will play out.
Right.
Man, it's kind of like tough to like explain, but and there's very unique situations to everything. And you know, it doesn't mean a guy wins Rookie of the Year. Doesn't mean he will always be better than this guy. But it's just a matter of what performance, the metrics, obviously statistics play some kind of role in it. I mean, you're not gonna average 5 points and unless you really doing some other significant things like rebounding, all that stuff, and be Rookie of the Year. But most of the time, is guys who score within the 18 to 20 point range, that kind of range, and that have a significant impact. Because in a way, how I look at it, it's the same way how I look at an MVP, but just rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how well does the guy does individually. You know, sometimes you know it may not always run in the favor of how people think. Like let's say now, I'm pretty sure you. That year, you speaking of Brandon Jennings, Tyreke Evans, Stephen Curry, you believe that Brandon Jennings should have won it. But, you know, people can go ahead and say, all right, maybe that year Tyreke Evans was a better player, a clear-cut better player. Like, there's so many variables that come into play when you're picking that kind of award.
Right.
Usually for me, it's, okay, what's the direct impact? What does the guys feel for the game? How well is he shooting? How well, like, does he have glaring weaknesses versus, you know, other candidates? If one guy could really shoot and can do the other things that, you know, one guy could do well, he's going to have an edge over him. So,
Right.
like, you know, you kind of factor those things in. I don't know what is your metric or how you see it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like to see that it's not just, not just like, oh, he's having a great season, like the type of impact you make on a team. Because if you are a rookie and your team was really projected to not even be anywhere near a playoff run and you lead them in the playoffs and you have the statistics to back that up, then definitely I feel like that should support your argument. But like, I understand your point, depending on if it's a clear cut thing or anything of that nature. I just wonder, like, if the season were to continue, because Pelicans were right near where Grizzlies were, like, and Zion continued out the season and Grizzlies fell to like ninth and Pelicans made it to eighth, would people's mindset change, or would it say, well, Zion didn't play enough games? Or, I wonder how people like would kind of think from that standpoint.
I don't know, man. It's the same thing, like I said earlier, like a responsibility. Obviously, he's. I don't know if we could say he's the best player, but among the best player. He's not gonna kill you with a 3-point shot. He can handle the ball pretty well for a big man. He's explosive. He could dunk the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he still has work to do with his game.
Right.
John Morant just got a lot more tricks in the bag. Obviously, he's a guard. As of right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. That's it could be a very neck and neck, like how Trae Young and Luka Doncic was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like where it goes to the very bitter end, where I guess they get one person gets picked. It could have even been a situation with was it Jason Kidd and Grant Hill that had
co-rookie of the year?
Co-rookie of the year?
Yeah.
Because it was clean cut. Like these, even in the draft last year, everyone knew these were the top two guys.
Yeah.
And it would drop off after that. But people say significantly. I don't know about that. I believe R.J. Barrett is pretty good, and he's gonna be very good.
Mm-hmm.
And he got some other guys too. But that's how I see. The responsibility and how well, like, what can you do well on the court with the eyeball test? Like, okay, how well can you shoot it? You know, how often you get to the line. How better do you make the people around you?
Right.
You know, that's the biggest thing. What kind of impact do you have on the guys around you?
Right.
If you just putting up some numbers, you know, it's just numbers.
Right. And I think
Unless you're
no, go ahead.
going, unless you're running up against guys who are probably doing the same thing as you, then it's like it's a matter of, all right, who's the better player?
Right. And I think what's impressive with Ja Morant's situation too is when you don't have like you have a very young team and you're young yourself. You don't have a lot of like vets on your team to
Mm-hmm.
really be around you to teach you the ropes. It's like you have a newer coach and you have all these young guys around you who are trying to learn a lot of things that you're trying to learn. While with Zion, like you have like a Drew Holiday. You got JJ Redick. You got different guys on the team who've been in the game and can teach you certain things that you probably didn't know before or didn't really realize. So, you know,
Definitely.
but yeah, both of them. I think they both have promising careers. Whoever wins it, regardless. But yeah, Ja Morant, it is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps it up for today's episode. Please like, subscribe. Do not forget to hit the notification bell. Um, we post videos pretty much about 3 times a week. So if you subscribe, just hit the notification bell, so that way, whenever we post, you're updated and you're able to see our next episode and see what we got to say, and even give us your feedback. So you guys have a good one. See you on the next one.
Deuces.